virtual? Virtual's ready. All right. Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. Do we need to do okay, take her away, Melissa. I'm calling the Timnath Landing General Improvement District Board meeting to order.
Chairperson Mark Sukup.
Here.
Commissioner Rick Collins. Commissioner Aaron Pearson.
Here.
Commissioner Lisa Lake.
Here.
Commissioner Brett Hansen.
Here.
Okay. I think we can go straight to the business. So resolution to accept 2019 audit performed by Whipley. Christine, I think it's all in there and it was pretty simple, but do you have any comments you'd like to add?
Just a couple.
Okay, go ahead.
The GID's financial activities for the year end were also included as a blended component unit in the town's audit. So these are the same numbers, but we did a standalone audit for the GID. Most importantly, you'll see a management report within the packet, which says that the GID's 2019 audit received a clean opinion. They had no adjustments. That's the most important thing. Know that we did all of the year-end accruals. We drafted the report. It was clean. They didn't have any changes. And we're ready to file this with the state auditor's office by the July 31st deadline. I'm happy to go through the report, certainly, if you'd like me to, but you got a clean opinion. No
Everybody
changes.
good?
I just had one question there.
Sure.
Just to make sure I understood the bottom line impacts to those that are going to be living in that development. They're going to be paying 15 mils on their property taxes as part of the expenses incurred by the GID, correct?
Correct. So when that starts being levied, it'll be 15 mils for 40 years, correct?
Okay. And there will also be other Metro District entities on top of whoever lives there, most likely?
That's right. So there are current Metro districts there. Robert, please chime in. So this is an extra overlay district, the GID.
So the upper end of Metro District property taxes I'm aware of is about 150 mils. So this would be anyone living there would pay an additional 10% property tax rate effectively. Okay, just want to make sure I understood what the situation was for people there. Thank you. Right, but we get, and we're first in line, right, to get reimbursed for that. Okay. That's all I had. Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor of passing the resolution?
So moved.
Thanks. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Resolution passes. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're adjourned. Call to order for the Timnath Town Council meeting.
Mayor Mark Sukup.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Rick Collins. Councilmember Aaron Pearson.
Here.
Councilmember Lisa Lake.
Here.
Councilmember Brett Hansen.
Here.
We have no public comment, correct?
No, sir. Yes, sir, that's correct. We have no public comment on number 3, but we do have an amendment to the agenda.
Okay.
So with the council's permission.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
Mayor, with your consent and with the council's permission, I'd like to request that, 8A, which is under discussion and future agenda items, the 2020 Taste of Timnath Options and Major Communications Report be moved to 6, right after 6G.
Great.
Is that F? Sorry, don't know my alphabet.
Do we need a motion on that or just a proposal?
It's my request if the council would actually do a voice vote on that, that would be great.
Okay. So is everybody in agreement with changing the agenda there?
Thank you. And just to let you
We
know.
got all nods.
Thank you. That indulges me. My son's getting recognized tonight with a special award, so I need to slip out around 6:30. But pursuant to a conversation I had with the mayor, I feel like it's important that I make a recommendation to the council in regard to the Taste of Timnath. And so we just want to cue that up at the appropriate time. So thank you for indulging me on that.
Okay. Do I have a motion to, let's do this. Any concession on the consent agenda? payables. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Consent agenda other, the town council meetings. Any comments? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor of the consent agenda other?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes. Reports. Let's see. Aaron, you've got a report there.
I do. I've got one report, and then I think my other one comes up a little bit later.
Yeah, it
So,
does.
but on this one, we know with COVID and everything that's going on in the school system, obviously there's going to be a lot of changes for them this current year. And in some discussions with principals of the two elementary schools here in town, Timnath and Bethke, we realized that there was a need for them to have some extra monetary support to help them get through some of the additional challenges that are presented by COVID. So in discussions with the mayor, we talked, and then I would like to bring it forth to council that we have requests from both Timnath Elementary and from Bethke Elementary in the amount of $7,500 per school to help them offset some of the COVID-related costs. So you can see their grant requests are part of the packet. Anything else? Any questions people have on that? Or yeah, yes, Rick.
I just wonder if we're going to establish something we can never back away from.
It's,
I've got heartburn with it. And one of the proposals asked for air conditioners. They haven't had air conditioners in the past. If they're COVID related, I've also read articles saying it might be the virus is traveling through the air conditioning system. The other one wants tents, so they can move outside. I'm not comfortable.
so I'm going to answer. I'll go first on this because I talked to Principal Barella myself, and I know Aaron talked to Principal Afonso himself, and it was a request that they are making out. And here was my thoughts and why I support this donation is we're in a unique situation. Timnath, the town, is almost immune to the effects of COVID. This would be a nice gesture back to the schools to say, hey, we know you're having it tough and we would like to assist you. Absolutely out of the ordinary. I agree with you, Rick. It's out of the ordinary, and I hope we're not setting up any precedent. This is just a one-time thing that, hey, we know our school district, our school system is having a tough time with COVID. In answer to your question on the air conditioning, fans, the fans that they have actually do spread the COVID, and that's why the air conditioner, not to cool necessarily, but to get rid of the fans so that they then have just air conditioning going on. The air conditioners don't have a big fan that's smaller and it'll cool the room, but the real purpose of it isn't heat. It is to control the fans from blowing the COVID virus around. Also, they'll clean the filters then. I don't know for a fact, but I assume they'll clean the filters to make sure that it'll actually act as a deterrent again because the filters will be cleaned up. So that's on that one. I'll let you talk about the tent, Aaron.
Yes, I mean, the tents were a small portion of that, just $500, but a lot of it went to these plexiglass partitions just to help protect the teachers in there and give some safety and assurance that some of the supplies that are going to be shared, which would be pretty normal for school. I mean, as we all know, as parents, we have to give a sort of a communal donation to the classroom so that they have enough of those supplies. And that would help us, at least in the art department, for sure. There's also a few other items that she puts out here, and there's going to be some other staffing needs that they need for the increased amount of cars, because as most people probably don't know, everybody south of the railroad tracks in Timnath Ranch are bused to the elementary school because it's PSD's position that they don't want the children walking or riding their bike across the railroad tracks. And now with the reduced busing, there's going to be a lot more in the lines of the parents dropping off kids, and there's going to have to be more staff out there to watch to make sure the kids are getting there safely. So that's the position from Bethke, and at least with Principal Alfonso, she knows most certainly that this was a one-time offer and not based on the COVID, and not something that they can continually count on.
Rick, do you want to make any other comments or questions?
I
I know.
don't like to open up this box.
That's fine.
I have a
Lisa.
I have a question. So do you remember offhand, Aaron, I know you were involved in the grants to businesses.
Yes.
How much money remaining from that did we not spend? And is that where this is kind of coming from?
Yes, it is. And that original grant request that we had talked about was $50,000. And I think we ended up at 28.5, was that right?
Yeah,
Or
it was just over half.
27.5?
27.5.
27.5. So there was still a little over 20,000 left in there. And we felt that this could be a good use of those same funds.
Okay.
And as a COVID related expense, this may be able to qualify for a grant like we had in the small businesses that we would be requesting from the state. Am I on base thinking that?
Yeah, whether or not it's actually technically eligible or not, Dole is still wrapping up the criteria list, but it is certainly something that we would ask them to consider reimbursing. That's correct.
But good question, Lisa.
Great.
We should have mentioned that earlier. This was a spinoff of, we have extra money.
Mhm.
We didn't give them to the businesses. Let's give it to the school. And we're still below
Still
the
below the
50
50,000.
that we approved.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you.
No idea.
I do not.
Yeah, no idea. I would
The
guess.
first round of the CARES Act went to the state, and it's my understanding the state largely distributed those to universities and other entities. I don't know. I do think there was some backfill to the schools, but I don't know that they were made whole. I just don't have the most recent calculation on that. So.
Any other questions or comments?
I was also going to mention, would there be a reason, I guess I'd ask Matt, why school and lieu fees couldn't be considered? We do have those savings from that 50,000, but that's coming from unrestricted general fund. So one, could we use those school and lieu fees? And if we could, is that something council would want us to take from the accumulated 2.4 million or so? Just
Okay.
throwing that out there as another option.
Any other comments?
I'll jump in on that, Christine. Typically, the school district sees PILO funds for infrastructure, not for needs for a school like tents, anything like that.
Okay.
So that's how the school district sees the PILO funds, is more for infrastructure than actual needs of schools.
Thanks. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. It passes 4-1. Finance update. I'm going to start with this one, Christine. And, well, wait, you're going to do the audit. So did you have anything on the monthly financial that you felt wasn't covered well on the?
Not that I didn't cover during the work session as far as June sales taxes, so nothing in addition.
Perfect, thanks.
Mayor, I had a quick report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That's all right. I just wanted to keep the council in the loop. We had our first committee of the Metro District Committee meeting last Monday, a week ago Monday. And I thought it was a very productive event. I'm really happy with the committee we have. We had a good productive discussion on the different control district structures and what ability residents have and don't have to impact how their metro districts are run. We've set another meeting to discuss specifically metro district debt. Town staff has done a great job supporting and making sure the venues are available, and I'm optimistic our committee will be able to help improve general town understanding. That's it.
I've had a number of people comment about how well they thought that meeting went, Brett.
Good, thank you.
Yeah. Community development, Matt, I assume it's in the report. You don't have anything to add. Terry, I assume yours is in the report and you don't have anything to add. Police Chief Jones. Okay, and Town Manager Wesley, do you have, okay, great. That brings us to item 8A in the agenda. Kim, would you like to take the podium?
I would. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm here for my every 2-week discussion of which events we should continue with and which ones we should not. So as you can see in your report in your packet, the Taste of Timnath is our next event that we need to consider. Clearly, given current guidelines, shutting down Main Street and having large people gather in Old Town is not feasible. So in your packet, there's a couple of different options. Again, it's very acceptable to cancel the event due to health concerns. We've been doing that throughout the summer. But we also could consider some other options to try and still celebrate community in different ways. In the packet, I think we proposed just having some food trucks at different community parks throughout the Timnath area. Again, not necessarily encouraging people to gather at those locations, but giving them an opportunity to enjoy their local parks and spend some time outside. Truly just wanted to check in and see how you all are feeling about the Taste of Timnath as an event. One element that I did forget is we could indeed also do a virtual or a staggered start 5K. Again, it's not going to have the same experience and feel as what we've been able to do in the past, but just trying to throw out some ideas on other ways to celebrate community in a really, really strange time.
Wesley.
Yeah, so as the council is aware, I sent out to you, I believe it was a week or so ago, the most recent update from Larimer County. They were put on notice by Colorado Public Health Department that they had 2 weeks to put together a mitigation plan due to the increase in the spike in COVID-related cases. The county, is my understanding, is still developing their mitigation plan, but as a part of that, they are strongly discouraging any large or even medium-sized gatherings, as well as an increase in wearing face masks, just being careful in public and social distancing. So although it pains me greatly, I think one of the biggest, strongest messages we could send so we don't have more adverse impacts coming our way, especially to our businesses from the county, is that we do everything we can to decrease instances where we have gatherings in public where the COVID-19 could more rapidly spread. So my recommendation to you is that we do not move forward, unfortunately, with the Taste of Timnath, and that we strongly consider whether we encourage any kind of outdoor activity at this point where there might be gatherings of any kind, just for the next few weeks till we get past the hurdle. Evidently, as they were doing contact tracing, one of the main reasons the spikes happened is because of the social gathering issues that happened actually over the 4th of July. So I know it's a tough one. I know it's hard to take. Perhaps there maybe is an alternate that we can look at, but I think as we noodle our way through this, just being cognizant of we're in this weird window for Larimer County as they're putting together this mitigation plan, and we certainly don't want to be contributing to more adverse impacts coming our direction.
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah, I'll second that. And Weld County is in trouble now because of the concert.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
last week, but I did have an alternative.
Oh, sure.
Use, if we could use any of those revenues to do another trash day.
Mm.
Everybody's at home, everybody's cleaning out the
Yeah.
basement, the garages and
That's
that.
a good idea.
It was the traffic was lined up like crazy over by Lisa, Aaron's
Yeah.
house and that. We might consider telling folks, because we've canceled some of these events, we're going to switch your revenue to add another day
I like it.
within a month, month and a half. So
Mhm.
get your stuff ready again. It would be a nice gesture.
That's great.
Great thought.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spin off Wes. I totally agree with what he's saying. And like doing a staggered start on a 5 doesn't work because everyone gathers at the finish line. So you totally defeated the purpose of the staggered start. So that's not really gonna work. And I think we owe it to our town businesses to not be shut down, to not have them shut down. Because as Wes told us, you know, the state came out with, if we have another outbreak, they're going to close up all the bars and restaurants. And I just think that's not fair to them for us to set up an event that could take away their business.
Wes, what's the county guidelines on limit of crowd sizes at this point? Is there
50,
50,
I want to say.
50?
I thought it was 50.
It was, but they were actually encouraging to even drop it below that. So
Yeah.
I think the mandate, don't hold me to this, I believe the mandate's around 50, but they were encouraging no big gatherings past 25 if you could keep it there. But understand the cap being at 50.
I don't see how we stay under 50 even with a spread out event.
And some of them have a limit saying if your occupancy is
Correct.
110, you can only have half at the
Right,
most.
that's correct.
Right.
That's correct. Yep.
Is it then that 50 applies for outdoor gatherings?
Yes,
as well?
that's
Okay.
correct. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
correct.
see how we stay.
Yeah,
under
I
that
don't know
number.
how we do it either.
How many people do we normally have doing the run portion of it? Do we have?
Couple hundred, actually.
Okay, because
Yeah.
is there a way to know how much, and the money normally goes to a nonprofit, is that correct? Where does,
I don't know if we had set that up yet this year. I think we had just held our horses to see if indeed we were going to move forward with it.
'cause- well,
Food
no,
bank.
there was an entry fee to the race
Mhm,
that
correct.
went
To the
some,
food bank.
to the
Larimer
food
County
bank?
Food bank.
Right, yes,
Okay.
yes.
because I would be interested in possibly looking at a virtual race. I know they've been really, really popular this
Mhm.
year. And participants still get the medals and things like that. I don't know the cost of that and whether it makes sense financially to do that. I also really like Rick's idea of doing another one of those days because that was super popular and, neighborhoods aren't hosting their garage sale days and things like that. So
That's great.
We probably shouldn't call it Taste of Timnath Trash Day, though.
No, I would not recommend that. That's a good point, Brett.
So I think we got 3 things to sort of get a head nod on. First off, do you agree with the recommendation from Wes to cancel the Taste of Timnath?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all do it with trepidation. Second, Rick brought up, and I'm going to bring this up for discussion then. Rick brought up the idea of a trash day, which cleanup day. I'm sorry, cleanup day.
One man's trash.
We could call it the Collins Trash Day. Any comments for anybody on that?
No, don't open the floor to that, Mayor.
I think it's a fantastic idea. I know there's always people that have stuff that they could get rid of. I like the idea of having that shredder too, so you can get rid of your documents. So I'm fully in support of Rick's idea of having
We could
a
use the
second
same
one.
guide.
Yeah.
Yeah, just replicate it.
So
Good idea.
I think, do I got an agreement to do that? So I think what we're assigning you, Jill, I keep calling you Jill, Kim, to do is, I wonder who the heck Jill is, to go ahead and set up a trash day. I don't know, can we do it the same day as we had scheduled September 26th
I will
for
find out.
taste of Timnath?
I will find out. Let me touch base with the event team and make sure that we can put all of our ducks in a row. I think the big thing would just be reserving the big dumpsters. And so let me chat with them and see what we can pull off, and I'll make sure to update you because I'm back here again next,
Great.
next council.
Plus, we've got to look at other schedules.
Yeah.
So if by chance there is a football game that day, you don't want people to get upset with us because they're going to want a football.
I don't think there could be a lot of football. But that's a really well point. So check the CSU schedule.
I will. That's no problem. And I just also want to.
Wait a minute. You're not ready yet.
Oh, I was moving on.
We also had a suggestion from Lisa on a virtual race, and I don't know enough about it to even comment, so.
I don't know the cost. I don't know anything like that. I don't know if it's feasible, worth it, any of that. So
How about if we sick Kim on coming back to us?
She mentioned it as well, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we could definitely do it. I mean, it's doable. It's been very popular, as you said, for a lot of folks who aren't able to, run in a typical race. And I think even financially feasible it is. And so I think we can absolutely make that maybe part of the entire offering that we have coming this fall. And we'll just have to maybe kind of figure out the dates and see how those lay out. So do we do cleanup day and then push the run back? Do we try and do the run on the same day that we had originally scheduled it and then find another date for the cleanup day? But
A lot of the virtual ones I've seen give a big window.
Yeah,
So you could
exactly.
run anytime in
Anytime.
September.
Right.
And it would go. And then I think that would be a good opportunity too, to still have money for the food bank, which I'm sure they're in need of that right now as
Surely.
well too.
I think that's great.
So we got an agreement on the virtual run, and so I think we're assigning it to go ahead and put that into effect then also. And I do agree with Lisa that, if you give it a spread of 2 weeks, it doesn't really matter what start and end date you have. And then Rick had a real good comment. Let's just make sure CSU football game's not on the 26th.
I would think we would have thought of that when we scheduled Taste in Timnath,
hope.
hopefully.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
And then the other thing you mentioned, so actually there was a fourth, is having a neighborhood food trucks going around and stuff. I don't see that as being any healthier or COVID resistant than any gathering. So unless someone disagrees with me, I don't see that being something we have any interest in.
Got it.
I just got nods from everybody,
Yeah.
but Rick, who's deep in thought.
Rick wants Kona ice.
All right. I'll give it back to you now, Kim.
Excellent. I would actually this next part is just drawing your attention to some of the key communication projects that we highlighted the very first time I came before this particular council. And so wanted to make sure that you knew we are currently live streaming our council meetings. We are also in the process of getting a draft of the community survey for your review. So that is in the works and you will see that shortly. Our website redesign, we issued an RFP earlier this month, and I think our deadline is Friday or the 31st. So we're getting a lot of great response to that. And then we'll be sending an RFP out for event management and marketing in September, and then general communication support in October. So we are still on schedule with all of those elements. And again, I think the next big thing you'll be seeing is a draft of that survey where we'll need your feedback. And clearly there's some conversation about it during the work session that we'll make sure is reflected in there as well. So no decisions, but just want to draw your attention to that. And I also want to say thank you because I do feel like I really am here every 2 weeks asking you to make hard decisions about events. And it is very much so appreciated. And I know it's not a fun conversation to have. So I'm grateful.
Hold on one sec, Kim. Go ahead.
News alert. September 26th is open because CSU is supposed to play at Vanderbilt.
Are you on your phone right now? September 26th.
Yeah.
Check.
So it's old.
And then Kim, I think I know you were here. Thanks for being at the work session. I think there are a number of things that we're sort of all commenting on that we'd like to hear from the town back on. So if you can make sure those get inserted in there.
I was taking notes.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, back to the agenda, 7A, resolution accepting the 2019 audit performed by Fiscal Focus. And I apologize, I don't remember your name, but go ahead. Do you want to at least get up and introduce yourself to council, who is the partner in charge of our audit?
Sure. Hi. Eric Barnes. I think I've seen a couple of you before. I've seen others at the Finance Committee meeting. So our firm, Fiscal Focus Partners, performed the audit of the 2019 financial statements of the town. And we had a presentation of the Finance Committee 2 weeks ago, something like that. Made a few modifications based on discussions that came out of that meeting. And you've got the revised financial statements that were sent out to you in your packets. My only comment is that the audit went smoothly, even though we were kind of kept at bay from getting into the town's offices for a while. But we were able to receive most of the documents that we needed electronically. So we still got everything we needed, still got to look at everything we wanted to look at. And there were no issues that arose during the audit. We did not propose any adjustments, any adjusting journal entries to the town's accounting records.
Great. Thanks, Eric.
Okay.
I'm going to get to you, Christy. So great, thanks. I'll let you go ahead and sit down. Eric was great help. I will say that the Finance Committee met along with Eric and Christine. We had an incredibly great meeting, and I really was proud of our Finance Committee because I think there were 8 paragraphs that ended up getting added to the audit report, which I think was a tribute to them being astute and paying attention to town affairs and stuff. And so that was really, really impressive that they were able to come up with those and stuff and had ideas. I think they all appreciated Eric and Christine, how you helped gear those in and informed us so well on it. So the committee did what it's supposed to do and looking at it. And so the committee does request that the council accept the audit report as presented with the changes that were made, and they are made in your packet. Christine, would you like to make any comments?
Nothing to add.
Okay, great. So do I have a motion to accept the 2019 audit report that was in your packet?
So moved.
Second.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, pass into review. Thanks a lot, Eric. Thanks a lot, Christine. 7B, an ordinance adding Chapter 8, Article 4 to the Timnath Municipal Card, providing for the use and regulation of golf carts. And I think, is Audrey going to do this? Okay, Audrey, go. There you are.
Yes, hello, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Next up is the golf cart ordinance, and I just would like to draw your attention to a few changes that have been made since the first reading, which are included in the
Audrey,
staff report.
could you put your mouth on the speaker? There you
Is this
go.
better? Can everyone
That's
hear
better.
me? Thank you. I just would like to draw your attention to a few changes to the ordinance that were made since the first reading. We have added a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit for all golf carts, and we've included a few other administrative changes for clarifications. And staff is supportive of all of these changes. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions? Thanks, Audrey. Do I have a motion to approve the ordinance? Oh, okay. Do I have to have, thank you. What do I say, Melissa? Okay, I open it up for public hearing. Anybody have any comments? No comments. I'm going to close the public hearing. Now, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Council has a lot of fun of making fun at me. 7C, an ordinance amending Chapter 10, the municipal card regarding municipal times for solicitation. Audrey, you get it again.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So as a reminder, we reviewed this during the last council meeting, that this code update is designed in response to a recent change in the law. And we received a recommendation from our insurance provider to make this change, and it removes the curfew for solicitation from our code. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions? Okay, I'll probably highlight the point that our insurance provider is saying we must have this, that if we don't, we are subjecting ourselves to a lawsuit. So it's we don't have a lot of room unless we want to go against that. So can I have a motion to approve? Oh, public hearing, public hearing. Quick, everyone that wants to have a public hearing. All right. Nobody's here. We'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to accept the ordinance?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Passed unanimously. A resolution, finally, I don't have to do a public hearing. Resolution initiating annexation of proceedings for property known as McBride annexation. And I think this is the second hearing on this too, isn't it, or is it?
No, it's a resolution, so it's
Okay.
the first hearing.
right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, as it hides. This is a substantial compliance hearing for property known as the McBride property. It's highlighted in blue there. It's just west of the apartments and west of here, north of Stonefly and on County Road 3F. This is just a substantial compliance hearing. They have, the property owner has submitted an application for petition to annex into the town. Staff has reviewed that application and has found that it's in compliance with state statutes and the land use code. And this then sets the statutory timeline for public hearing to be set in September. And this is just the approval that you agree that it is in compliance and can go through the process to be annexed into the town.
Great. Kevin, why don't you give like a 1 minute anticipation of what they're going to build on that piece of ground?
They are anticipating building a phase 2 of the apartment. So just a continuation. The property owner of the apartments has purchased the property from the McBrides, and they will continue the apartments on to the west and add about 82 more units.
Okay.
Kevin, I know I've had discussions with Don about the parking at the apartment complexes there. It's my understanding that there's going to be a more strict requirement on the amount of parking spaces in the second phase there.
Yes, and initial conversations with them, they are going to have over the required amount of parkings with the second phase.
Okay, thanks.
I think what's the number? I think I heard it, but maybe you don't have that. What you anticipate the number over what they're required?
I don't know off the top of my head the number over, but I believe they are going to have somewhere in the range of over 200 spaces for this next phase.
Okay.
Yep.
Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Resolution appointing members to the Park Recreation, Open Space and Trails Committee. Aaron, or Brian, which one? Brian? Okay, Brian.
I will give a brief intro and then turn it over to Aaron. Thank you, Mayor. We did have quite a number of applications. We received 13 applications, including 2 youth applications. I know that we held a special position for that. And, you know, Matt, Blakely, Aaron, and I kind of went through them together as a team and had some recommendations. Aaron's going to go over those, but what we found a very difficult decision, kind of who was going to make it on. So one thing that we would ask is that we could amend the resolution to include up to 9 committee members instead of the 7 that we originally had. It was a very strong candidate pool, and we think there's a lot of diverse voices there that we want to get represented on the committee.
I'm really pleased with the amount. We had 13 people apply for the positions. And in trying to narrow it down, we wanted to make sure voices from all over the community in different areas of the town, as well as people that were interested in different uses of our pro system. So we have somebody who's an avid fisherman, another person who's an avid power boater, some bird watcher advocates, as well as non-motorized and trail. So I think that we really have a diverse, great group. We decided to expand this, or hoping for your approval to expand it to 9, because we had so many applicants that were qualified, and we wanted to give the youth voice 2 spots instead of 1. We felt that having a younger person with a peer would be more willing to come to the table with ideas than maybe if they were by themselves. So anyway, we're requesting to have between 7 and 9, up to 9 people on this committee. And at this point, should I read the names of who we were suggesting? So I will be the council liaison to it. But along that, we will have, I'm proposing to have Mitch McGuire, Mike Malone, Lana Pink, Aaron Smith, Kate Weinrich, Annalise Eldridge, Hannah Childs, and Jason Ficca to be on the committee.
Great. So let's do this 2 ways. Let's first make a motion to amend the, is it a resolution or is it?
We can just do it as amended.
Robert, help me. What should we do on the amendment? Since we're expanding it, don't we need to amend something? That's what I thought, yeah. So do you want to make that motion?
I would like to make the motion to approve resolution on the Parks and Trail Committee. If my computer would function, I will tell you the number.
52.
52. As amended with 9, up to 9 members instead of 7 members.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. Would you like to make a motion on the committee?
I'd like to make.
Excuse me?
Oh,
No, as amended.
Yeah, well, this is different because this one's just making a motion to add these members, which is already in the resolution.
so I would like to make a motion to resolution 52 to have the 9 members that I just stated on the committee.
Second?
And you got those, Melissa? Okay. Second?
Second.
Great, thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? You know, I saw those, all the number of people, I couldn't believe how, I mean, this is so exciting to watch all of the committees and how many people have volunteered and what great talent we have in Timnath. It's just amazing. I think all of us agree that it's pretty neat. Do I have any other items to bring up? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.